very good evening and welcome. This is the first news bulletin, the first weekend primetime news bulletin of 2015. I'm Ramesh. We start the news bulletin off on a somber note where the suspect connected to the quadruple murders of members of the same family in Luniville recently committed suicide by jumping off into the Mawe. We will have the details of this story coming up later on in the news bulletin, but here's a look at your headlines for tonight.
Two suspects arrested in connection to an attack on Maithripala Sirisena's campaign rally in Palmadulla. Complaints on election violence rises to 240. More attacks reported from across the country yesterday and today. President says that the elections is not a joke. JVP says that the foundation of the government has begun to come apart. Nandimitra Ekanayake reveals of another powerful defection from the government. Letter of demand seeking 1,000 million rupees directed to the ITN from Maithripala Sirisena's election camp.
Our top story tonight, President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that several persons have taken the presidential election as a joke. The president expressed these views at a public rally held in Ginigathena today.
Yet another rally was organised by the UPFA to marshal public support for President Rajapaksa at the presidential election.
They're performing circuses every day, a different act each day. The latest was that they claimed that stones were being hurled at night. 2 stones were hurled but did not hit anyone. If it was one of our people, the stone would have hit the target. Just because a stone fell on the stage, this is portrayed as a big incident. Who knows what they will do in the next few days? This is a presidential election and not a joke. I wish to tell the former General Secretary not to take this election as a joke.
Opposition leader of the Talawakale Lindula Pradesh Sabha and a group of UMP activists pledged their support to President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
We prepare to celebrate with milk rice come the 9th of January. We will be able to transform the motherland into a knowledge hub of the wonder of Asia. When we spoke to the people at divisional level, they did not request for millions to make a road. They requested only 50,000 rupees. But today, they just want 1 or 2 million rupees to build concrete roads at divisional secretariat level. We have brought the nation to this level. People have vested you with the responsibility of developing the villages and the country.
2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the attack which was launched at a meeting of New Democratic Front presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena last evening. The police said that 2 saboteurs had carried out this attack at the meeting amid security.
The meeting, which was held opposite the Palmadulla bus stand last evening, was attended by several leaders representing the common opposition. The meeting was attacked during the speech of New Democratic Front presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena. However, despite the attack on the stage, Maithripala Sirisena did not end his speech. While the pelting of stones continued until the end of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena's speech, his security detail escorted him off stage. Subsequent to the attack on the public rally in Palmadulla, Maithripala Sirisena expressed the following views while addressing a public rally in the Bandaravilla town last evening.
I addressed many meetings in the Ratnapura district before arriving here and addressing you all. During my speech, a group of thugs of Rajapaksa attacked the meeting. They pelted stones at the stage. It was the innocent people who were at the meeting who had to pay the price from these assaults. They're trying to instill fear. With all this, we wish to remind Rajapaksa that with your level of intelligence, that a major public uprising against you has begun. You have to kindly understand that come the 8th, you will suffer a major defeat. I very clearly point out to the Rajapaksa government that I have come forward in this battle ready to sacrifice my life for the freedom and democracy of the people of this country rather than see them challenged or living in fear.
Views regarding the attack were also expressed at several media briefings today.
How can Mahinda Rajapaksa be held accountable for the acts of a bunch of fools in Kumbugate? A similar incident took place in Palmadulla yesterday. Do you believe that we would approve something like that even in our dreams? We completely reject these allegations. No supporter of the alliance is connected to this incident. We urge the police that if this incident had taken place just like Kumbugate, please enact the law.
Speaking to reporters, police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana commented on the incident.
It has been revealed that the suspects are residents of Wilhena in Palmadulla. They will be produced before court today. Interrogations have revealed details of 2 others connected to this incident and investigations are continuing. We hope to study the footage recorded on mobile phones in order to apprehend other suspects if involved in the incident.
On to our developing story tonight. 240 complaints have been lodged with the police headquarters in relation to election violence. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana said that 120 suspects have been taken into custody in connection to these complaints. Meanwhile, the Election Secretariat says that they have received 883 complaints on election law violations. Let's take a quick look at several election law violations reported during the last 24 hours.
Shots were fired at the residence of North-Western Provincial Councillor Lakshman Venaruwa last night, who pledged his support to New Democratic Front presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena. The attack was launched at the Provincial Councillor's residence located down Pubudumawata in Kurunegala. However, as Lakshman Venaruwa was not at his residence at the time of the shooting, his driver sustained injuries and was admitted to the Kurunegala Teaching Hospital.
I visited the temple last night to meet with the chief incumbent of the temple and to inform him that starting today, I will be supporting Maithripala Sirisena. When I was returning, my wife called me over the phone and said that a certain group had fired shots and that my driver was injured. She wanted me to come immediately. I visited the Kurunegala police station and informed the officers of this. Then I went home in a police jeep.
police jeep
Opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe arrived at the residence of Lakshman Venaruwa earlier this evening. Meanwhile, an unidentified group had attacked an office of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena in the Alagolla area in Galinbindunwawa during the early morning hours of this morning. The residence which housed the office was damaged in the incident. Investigations are underway into the attack. 5 officers of the UPFA in the Aralaganvila police division in Pulannaruwa were attacked last night and early this morning. According to our correspondent, 2 officers of the New Democratic Front were also vandalized. A complaint has been lodged with the police of a group who had arrived in a van and attacked 2 officers supporting presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena in Homagama, Kandalanda and Magammana areas early this morning.
Enraged government factions are committing such low and disgraceful acts. What we have understood is that they are doing these things because they cannot bear our victory.
A campaign office of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena in Delgado was set ablaze this morning.
We make a request from the OIC and the police officers to ensure the law is meted out equally to all parties for a free and fair election in the Biyagama electorate.
A party office in Kandubara area was also vandalized. An attack was launched during a campaign of the Muslim Public Organization to distribute leaflets creating awareness amongst the public of their civil rights. The group was attacked in the Putlam town. The group alleges that they were attacked by a group including MK Bais. 3 people who were injured in the attack are currently receiving treatment at the Putlam District Hospital. Former opposition leader of the Narammala Pradesh Sabha Rohana Dinapurna was attacked by an unidentified group last night. He was attacked while returning from a meeting in Narammala. While the victim is receiving treatment at the Damadeniya hospital, a complaint has been lodged with the police. According to our correspondent, a few campaign offices in Damadeniya, Dampalassa and Galwangua area in Narammala were vandalized. A program titled Mitra Yatrava, which was scheduled to be held in Suryavava Hambantota to muster support for presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena, was disrupted by a certain group. Our correspondent said that a complaint was lodged with the Suryavava police regarding the incident.
This attack was carried out causing obstructions to the journalists as well as the general public. We requested from the police OIC and the other police officers to stop this and that there was an altercation that was taking place. We request the incumbent president and the government to ensure the law is implemented in a fair manner.
However, chairman of the Suryavava Pradesh Sabha Eranda Janaka said that the group had arrived to attack the officers and create an issue.
We did not cause any influence, but a group of persons from our area were attacked and the office was broken into while the posters were also destroyed. We object to this act. We condemn this too. We will take action against this.
In more local news, President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that no matter who changes sides, he will always be on the side of the people. The head of state made this statement at a public rally held in Kantale last evening.
Another rally of the series of public rallies organized by the United People's Freedom Alliance to gain support for incumbent President Mahinda Rajapaksa at next week's polls was held at the Batigama grounds in Kantale last
evening. I need to remind you that no matter who changes sides, my heart is always with you. Therefore, we have accepted the responsibilities of all people, some who have defected towards nationalistic sentiments in a very disgraceful manner. Today, a mud poster has been printed and is being distributed to all Muslim households. They say if I am elected, the veil of the woman will be removed. Once they said, I will not allow for the religion to be preached in the mosque. That was in 2005. Today, the daughter of Bandaranayaka is working together with the very persons whose civil rights were stripped. Today, they are shedding crocodile tears and saying that we need to be saved from the Rajapaksas. They say we are corrupt.
Several Pradesh Sabha members from the UMP and SLMC pledged their support to President Rajapaksa at this evening.
Presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena says that he has a clear program to address the issues faced by the farmers. He made this announcement at a public rally held in Mahiyangane today.
The public rally was organized to muster support for presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena at the 8th of January presidential poll.
My father was a farmer. Therefore, I too am a farmer, and I will understand the grievances of the farming community. Therefore, I wish to note that we will provide solutions to the issues of the farmers through the government that we create. After we unveiled a manifesto, they presented the third edition of the Chintanaya named Lovadina Namaga. In the 75th page, it states that the national health policy will be reviewed according to the Senaka Bibila policy and will be passed expeditiously. I wish to challenge President Mahinda Rajapaksa to say during the next 2 days that he would actually bring the Senaka Bibila policy. The multinational companies will not allow him to do this.
Opposition public representatives also addressed a public rally in Balangoda yesterday.
We will never pave the way for our war heroes to be seated on the electric chair. The war heroes will never be taken before the war tribunal. We will make any sacrifice that is needed to safeguard them. We are ready to protect the war heroes. Do not be deceived by these lies.
Minister Das Alahaperuma says that the government condemns the attack launched on a group of artists in Kumukkete, Kurunegala, but adds that certain incidents in the attack may have been staged. He made this statement at a media briefing convened at the SLFP headquarters.
We vehemently disapprove of the attack on the artists. The police and the government took every measure to address this problem. The UPFA even identified the Pradeshi Sabha representative and had him arrested. Do you remember the manner in which how legal action was taken against the Vandaroba incident? We are not saying that stones were not pelted at them. There must have been an incident that took place.
A public rally was held in Kadawata yesterday under the auspices of leader of the JVP, Anukumara Dissanayaka.
The foundation has begun to come apart. 19 from Polonnarua, 18 from Anuradhapura, 18 from Kurunegala, and then there was a group that defected from Gampaha. What has happened? The foundation has been ripped apart. On the surface, it's just a makeshift frame. They are trying to instill fear. They are like cats. We are not sure what they will do next. But they cannot do anything. Everything has collapsed. If Mahinda wins, come the 13th, the Pope will arrive and will leave on the 15th, and then Parliament will be dissolved that night. Why? Because Mahinda cannot continue with this Parliament. Malini and Jackson are now old. Then they brought Bollywood actor Salman Khan. He did not come alone. He was accompanied by Jacqueline. Tilanga Sumatipala was the first to greet him. Once he saw Jacqueline, he got confused with Salman and Shah Rukh. He kept on looking at Jacqueline and said something else to the mic.
Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa says there are various forces conspiring to weaken developing countries. He expressed this view during an event held in Avissawela.
The event was held to lay the foundation stone for the construction of a bridge across the Kalani River. Powerful countries always try to destroy countries which attempt to be sovereign by rejecting colonization and slavery. We saw this happening in Iraq during the Arab Spring. This was the same fate that befell Syria, Egypt, Libya and Latin American countries. They are continuing with this trend in Latin American countries. This was witnessed in Korea as well. Today, people of the same nation and relatives have been separated as South Koreans and North Koreans. Likewise, they tried to do this to Vietnam, but the people defeated them. When they tried to do this in Laos and Cambodia, people defeated them. Today, when our country and our people are trying to develop by being self-sufficient, they are trying to destroy them. It is a primary duty of the citizens of the country to defeat these forces.
A letter of demand of a reasonable estimate amounting to 1,000 million rupees have been sent to the Independent Television Network, its board of directors and its deputy general manager of news, Sudarman Radhadegoda. The letter of demand was sent for causing damage to the election campaign and reputation of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena. The communique released by the media coordinator of the common candidate for the presidential election 2015 reads that a news item causing defamation to Maithripala Sirisena was aired on the singular news bulletin of ITN at 7 p.m. on the 30th and 31st of December.
The communique reads that the anchor of the 7 p.m. news bulletin aired on the 30th of December has said in his introduction to the news item the details of an expose of an illicit affair of the opposition's candidate Maithripala Sirisena, who speaks of good governance. The communique reads that a letter of demand has been sent by attorney at law Nima Rajapaksa citing that this news item was a false, baseless report made without any clarification. The communique reads that the 16 persons to whom the letter of demand has been addressed to should pay the sum of 1,000 million rupees collectively or separately within 14 days. It goes on to note that failing to do so, the attorney would resort to take legal action against the failure to pay for the damages and demand for the said sum to be paid with interest and legal fees.
The alternative group of the Mahatana Exat Peramuna, supporting presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena, organized a seminar in Colombo today.
දරුණු නියඟයකට පස්සේ වැටිච්ච වැහි පොදක් වගේ
Similar to the first drop of rain which falls after a severe drought, the people's hearts are also becoming lively.
දලු දාලා දැන් නිල්ල පැතිරෙමින් පවතිනවා. ඒ පැතිරුණු නිල්ලට ආපු සූර්යයා තමයි පායපු සූර්යයා තමයි මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන නැමැති සූර්යයා. මේ සූර්යයා ලෝකෙන්
The ray of sunshine is Maithripala Sirisena. We can see that this ray of sunshine is providing light for green trees that bear fruit. What we need to do is end the corrupt rule and steer this country to a new era. The people aspire to establish good governance. The people are awaiting for the aid for this to be made a reality.
යහපාලනයක් ඇති කරන්නට කටයුතු කිරීම තමයි ජනතාවගේ අපේක්ෂාව. ඒ සඳහා ජනතාව බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා 8 වෙනිදා වෙනකම්.
General Secretary of the JHU, Patali Champika Ranawaka, also addressed the gathering.
Mahinda Rajapaksa මැතිතුමා අද මොනවා කිව්වා? එතුමා එදා බලයට එද්දී කොටි සංවිධානයේ පරාජය කිරීම ගැන ඔහුගේ තුන් හිතකවත් අදහසක් තිබුණේ නැහැ.
No matter what Mahinda Rajapaksa says today, when he came into power back then, he never had an idea to defeat the LTTE. In his manifesto back then, it was stated that he will hold discussions with the LTTE. He said that he will meet with Prabhakaran and hold discussions. On the 26th of November, he made his so-called hero speech and said that Mahinda Rajapaksa is a practical leader. We witnessed how he went to Geneva and held discussions with Anton Balasingham and Tamil Chelvam. Today he pounds his chest and claims that he is the leader who saved us from terrorism. This war was not a one-man show. The greatest service was rendered by the 26,000 children who sacrificed their lives in the war.
one-man show එකක් නෙවෙයි. මේ යුද්ධයේ ප්‍රධානම මෙහෙවර ඉටු කරේ ජීවිත පූජා කළ 26000ක් අපේ දරුවෝ.
Welcome back to the news. Nandimitra Ekanayaka, who defected from the government to support Maithripala Sirisena, made a revelation at a press conference held in Matale today.
Come tomorrow, you will hear news of 2 more defections from Parliament. You wouldn't have imagined that they would cross over. Incidentally, on the 5th, the third leader of the Parliament will also pledge his support to Maithripala Sirisena. We have faith no matter how many songs of loyalty are sung for the President by those who love the country and have a clear vision. When the time comes, they will support this cause. Even if the heads of these MPs turn or not, and even if I do not go, a majority of people in this district are waiting for a change against the waste, corruption, fraud and intimidation.
Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa questions whether people are seeking a change to divide the country. He made this statement at an event held in Polonnaruwa yesterday.
A public rally was held in support of President Mahinda Rajapaksa in Bandiwave area yesterday.
You all have a historical decision to make on the political stage. On one side we have national security and on the other we have the future of the country and your children. We ask all those who are in search for a change, do you all want to split the country? We would like to ask you that question. If you have a good heart, then you can stay with the president. If your heart is confused, people who have committed wrong cannot stay with the president.
Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajid Premadas, says that he has no intention of joining the government and betraying the soul of his father, who sacrificed his life for the party. He made this statement while addressing a public rally held in the Beliathe area today.
The public rally was held as part of another phase of a series of meetings organised in the Hambantota district, held under the auspices of MP Sajid Premadasa to create awareness amongst the people on the presidential elections.
What is the latest trump card used for their presidential campaign? The latest is that Sajid Premadasa is to join the government for the post of Prime Minister. Dear friends, this is the joke of the century. This is disgraceful propaganda. They are campaigning by sending messages via SMS, Facebook, Twitter and all across the internet. So I would like to say one thing. Do you think that little Sajid will lead the UNP by betraying his father, who sacrificed his life for this party?
Presidential candidate of the Janaseta Peramuna, Venerable Batramulle Silaratana Thera, held a public rally in Homagama yesterday.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa has only 3 sentences. What are they? An international conspiracy carried out by the diaspora. But he did not talk about what the country needs or about the future of the children. They only stayed together because they supported the executive presidency. They did not like to remove the problems that arose through an executive presidency. They did not want to remove Maithripala or Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Issuing a statement, the Ministry of External Affairs says that domestic elections are not for foreign government representatives to be prescriptive about. The statement adds that it is surprising that the EU heads of missions in Colombo resorted to a press statement on an issue of a strictly domestic nature, adding that such an initiative could bring into question the bona fides and objectivity of their intentions. The statement goes on to read that the Elections Commissioner, who is an independent authority, has been mandated by the statutory powers vested in him with the task of conducting free and fair elections. Yesterday, the European Union heads of missions in Colombo stressed the importance of Sri Lanka's presidential election and has called for the process to be peaceful, credible and transparent. According to the police, the suspect connected to the quadruple homicide in Lunawelawen, has committed suicide by jumping into the Mawe this evening. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana said that the suspect had broken free from the officers attached to the Criminal Investigations Department while he was being escorted to the Topua area to locate the axe that was used to murder the 4 members of the same family. The suspect had jumped off the Topua bridge and committed suicide. The police media spokesperson said that several officers attached to the CID were also injured in the scuffle. He added that the suspect's body was brought ashore and was placed at the Maravilla hospital. The suspect was arrested this morning by the Criminal Investigations Department. On business news tonight, global benchmark Brent crude oil closed down nearly $1 a barrel yesterday after a day of choppy trading despite expectations of new investments in the new year as strong midday rallies in crude fizzled.
Brent was down 91 cents at $56.42 a barrel. Earlier, it touched a post-2009 low of $55.48, having averaged around $110 a barrel between 2011 and 2013. Front month US crude for February delivery settled down 58 cents a barrel at $52.69 before a steep 50-cent drop post-settlement.
Over in Australia, firefighters are battling out-of-control bushfires threatening homes in South Australia and Victoria. Police have declared a major emergency and told residents that their lives are at risk. Crews have also been battling bushfires in Victoria, with emergency alerts issued for Hastings, Bittern and Crib Point south of Melbourne. So far, about 5 homes have been destroyed, but authorities said this number could rise as strong winds fan the flames. South Australia Premier Jay Weathergill urged residents in the areas at risk to leave immediately or prepare to stay and defend their homes. South Australia's fire chief said the blazes in the Adelaide Hills, northeast of Adelaide City, were the worst since the Ash Wednesday bushfires in 1983. And in sports news, Sri Lankan veteran Kumar Sangakkara became the 5th cricketer to surpass the 12,000 run mark, and fast bowler Nuwan Pradeep took 4 for 63 to help the visitors dismiss New Zealand for 221 runs on the opening day of the second test today.
Sri Lanka sought to reassert itself after losing the first test in the 2-match series at Christchurch by sending the host to bat first on a green pitch at Basin Reserve and claiming New Zealand's last 8 wickets for 81 runs. The hosts were in a strong position at 141 for 2 shortly after lunch, but their innings unravelled quickly, following the dismissals of Ross Taylor for 35, top scorer Kane Williamson for 69 and captain Brenton McCullum for a 2-ball duck. Pradeep shared 7 wickets with Suranga Lakmal as Sri Lanka swung the momentum its way temporarily in the session between lunch and tea. But the tourists couldn't build on the momentum at bat, losing 5 wickets for 78 runs at the start of their innings before stumps. Sangakkara, who was 33 not out at stumps, started the first test in Christchurch needing 12 runs to reach the 12,000 milestone, but was out for 6 and 1, delaying his admission to an elite group whose members include Sachin Tendulkar, Ricky Ponting, Jacques Kallis and Rahul Dravid.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Israel Bandara. Good night.